Very warm welcome to another vlog. This time around, the road has taken me here to the Beara Peninsula in West Cork. I'm going to spend a couple of days photographing the landscapes of the Beara. What drew me here is the mountains. Old Devonian sandstone mixed with carboniferous rocks, igneous, some glacial activity carving out the valleys here. I'm presently on the Caha Pass. I'm looking at folds of rocks in the mountains beyond. And that's my first subject. I'm going to take out the 100 to 400 lens. So as there's heavy rain due today, and I'm expecting it any moment, but there's a little bit of light in the sky, which will suit this image. It might bring some of those folds in the mountains out. Well, that view of those folded rocks in the mountain have all but disappeared, and that rain has started to come in now. So maybe back to the van. I've taken one or two images as some very soft light hit the rocks, and hopefully I've captured my first image of the day. I feel better once I get the camera out, no matter how good or bad the composition or the photograph. When we're away on a trip, when you capture that first image, it starts a practice, and the longer you leave it, the longer you leave the camera in the bag, the more anxious you might feel about not taking photographs. Well, the rain was torrential throughout the day, and the wind gale force as it rocked the campervan from side to side. And when the rain finally stopped, there was very little light left in the day. So I took the opportunity to drive over through the tunnels of the Caha Pass to the Kerry side of the Beara Peninsula. On the way to my park up for the night, and in the half light of dusk, I did find some Scots pine trees in a flooded field. Well, it's a crisp, cold January morning here on the Beara Peninsula. Well, I was nice and snug last night in the camper. It's 7:34. Sunrise, I think, is about 8:30, so I have an hour to sunrise. So the plan for this morning is to proceed from where I am at the moment, which is the base of the Healy Pass, and up to the Healy Pass to the Glanmore Lake viewpoint. I'm hoping that the morning light will catch the tops of the peaks. So this morning, again, it's all about those rocks and how they fold into the landscape here on the Beara Peninsula. It is a rugged, wild place, much more so than the Ring of Kerry or even the Dingle Peninsula. There's a toughness about the landscape. Well, I'm here at the pass as the road reaches its highest level, and I've come off to the right as we're coming up from the Kenmare side. And although the sun is rising in this direction, it was catching the tops of the mountains, as you see behind me. But I've busied myself this morning, and I haven't vlogged because I'm just trying to find foreground, and there's plenty of foreground interest here, such as the rock I'm sitting on at the moment. And you'll see the light is getting a little bit harsher. It's probably about half an hour after sunrise, but in winter time that sun comes up quick and makes itself known. I'm going to continue for the next half hour or so taking photographs here, and then I'll get back to the van, get a little bit of breakfast, and we plan the rest of the day. Well, I've really enjoyed the sunrise this morning, and I'm happy with some of the images I've got. Nice foregrounds, beautiful light. I'm underexposing in most of the images. And I'm finishing up here with a view of 3 or 4 peaks in the foreground, a few peaks in the distance. They may well be the McGillicuddy Reeks, if I'm not mistaken. And I am waiting. A beautiful cumulus, lovely structure in the cloud to position itself at the centre of the 4 peaks, cramming peaks in on the left and on the right That cloud, I'd say it's going to take 4 or 5 minutes to move. And when it does, I'll take that shot. I'm shooting at 150 mil. So I've travelled west again, out to the tip of the Beara Peninsula. To one of the most dangerous places I've ever shot. And I'm standing in this is the Beara Bowl is what it's called. And I think most landscape photographers in Ireland want this shot in their portfolio. When I came first, I went down and I got a big shot because after 2 or 3 minutes, it looked safe. And then a huge wave came in and I clambered back up the rocks. But to find the composition here looks easy when you see it, but to fit the arc in, to fit the distant headland in so that we're not cutting it off. There's a few rocks as well to the left and to the right, down at the bottom. And if you're going to include them, you need water surrounding them. As it is now. Wow, I really do have to keep my eye on the sea here. I'll just swing it back around there to give you a feel for what's happening. So camera settings, I'm betwixt and between, as usual. Between capturing smooth water, which is difficult given the volume of water coming in. I have shot at 2 seconds and that's not too bad. 1.6 seconds and then fast for a sixth and even faster than that, just to capture the spray. But there's so much. The problem with trying to capture I'm going to hold on to my camera here because it really is perched precariously. I don't trust this tripod at all. But if we're shooting, let's say at a sixth of a second, to capture the spray as it hits the bowl, the problem with that, the white foam on the sea beyond the rocks looks very, very messy. So I'm going to keep betwixt and betweening, and hopefully I'll get an image that I like. What a place. It is exhilarating. A constraint we have as photographers, probably the greatest constraint, is time. And the time we can apportion to photography, if it's a hobby. The time we spend at locations such as the magnificent Beara Bowl beneath me. There are so many photographic opportunities here on the Beara. It is so impressive on every level that I had planned to move on to other locations this morning, but I spent the night in the camper just up the road. There was a low tide about an hour and a half ago. That's the closest I could get to sunrise, which it is now. And look, the rain is coming down again. I've been caught twice already this morning. But I thought it would be worthwhile giving this location a little more time. So I've come back this morning, hopefully to capture more of the bowl as the tide is out and maybe come down a little bit lower. But even now, I realize that I might be too late for that. 2 minutes ago, I looked around, there was hope in the sky. Oh my God, somebody switched off the lights. It's gone dark and it's gonna rain heavily. So I might not get my opportunity, even though I've apportioned time to it. If I take a photograph here, I'll put it up and compare with yesterday evening. And if not, we'll move on to the next location. I think I'm gonna have to get back to the camper van. I'm just leaving Allihies now. I spent an hour, cooked a little bit of breakfast by the harbour. Some beautiful rocks to the right of the harbour there. And I was travelling in the direction of the eastern side of Beara, towards Adragol. And I saw a little cottage and it brought me up a side road. So I'm just travelling that side road now. And I've taken the infrared camera out. Not for the first time in this trip, and I'm glad I brought it along because the couple of images I've taken there of the old mining buildings. And Allihies has a rich history of mining copper. So the old cottages here for the workers and the mining buildings themselves are still standing. They're ruins, and there's a beauty to them. That infrared really shows off. So I'm going to continue on this road, and I'm driving into a beautiful looking mountain ridge, which I hadn't really noticed because I came down here to shoot the Beara Bowl, maybe a few seascapes, but I'm being drawn to something else now. And this little adventure has got me excited. So let's see if we find any more cottages to shoot either in colour or in infrared. And so I bid farewell to the Beara Bowl, Allihies, her stone relics, and the views across to the Beara Peninsula. And the road took me to the east of the Beara. The forecast for the following day was that sublime mix of calm and fog. But where to take advantage of those conditions? I remembered the lake beneath the Healy Pass, and my sunrise location was in the diary. So back over the Healy Pass I did go, and back to the same park up. And the following morning, I made my way to Glanmore Lake. Are you? Well, if you spend enough time in an area, you hit the jackpot every now and then. And I've come down to, this is Glanmore Lake this morning. For some strange reason, I decided to stay at, I think it's Kilmac Og Harbour last night, because I didn't think I'd get a park up here. And there is a community of houses, there's a a house with a chimney and a fire going. So I didn't get down for the rich golden light, but it's still there. But I think I arrived at an ideal time because this mist behind the little island with the Scots pine on it seems to be thickening up. The forecast today is for fog until 12 or 1 p.m. But there was very little sign of that as I drove here. It was about a 12 or 13 minute drive. And then to find a place to park here beside the lake and to make my way down to an area that's accessible, because much of the land here is farmland. As I got out of the van, a ram came up and basically said to me, "You're not coming into this field, mate." And that was that decision made. The stillness of the lake, I knew that. I knew the winds were down. I knew there was mist. So the conditions are just ideal. Now, with regards to camera settings, I have the 24 to 120 on. I'm shooting at 24 mil. And I've shot a kind of panoramic image as well, just to widen the shot to give me options in post. The main shot is of the wonderful cliff, this mountain, and the little island. You can see the delight in my face, can't you? Because you live for moments like this, for conditions like this. It's just magic, you know. I'm still waking up. I was up early this morning. I went for a wander down the beach, and then I said, "What are you up to? Get going, get into the car." But I'm happy enough I've got down here in good time. So I'm just delighted. I'm looking around for other compositions now, but I know myself, stick with the main prize. So I'm going to switch to the 14 to 30, and I'm going to take one very wide shot. Might be better than stitching together the wider shots from 24 to 120. The mist is still there. So I'm going to get back. So with regards to camera settings, let me just spin the vlogging camera around and I'll talk through it. So it's f10, ISO 100. It's a slow shutter speed, but we're on a tripod. No filters whatsoever. And I'm overexposing and then taking another exposure for the sky because I want this to be a very high key type of image. Well, that misty, soft light we had this morning is being replaced by the bright sun. And it's going to be a blue sky day, maybe good for infrared photography. But I'm going to leave the vlog there. I'm going to head home to County Wicklow. And I very much hope you enjoyed this exploration of the Beara Peninsula. It is truly one of, if not the most beautiful place I've been to in Ireland. And I would highly recommend that you visit here as a landscape photographer. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, I really would appreciate it if you subscribed and click the notifications to be notified of future videos like this. Please give me a thumbs up, and until next time, wherever the road may take us, thanks so much for watching.